Welcome to the zoo. It's time to put the animals to bed. Would you like to help? Let's go and see who's still awake. Good night, Tiger. Good evening, Mr. Tiger. You've been walking around your enclosure all day, and now you're ready to rest. Say goodnight to the tiger and wish him sweet dreams. Tomorrow you'll continue to prowl with grace and strength, making the jungle proud. Good night, Mr. Tiger. Thank you. Good night, Bear. Good evening, Mr. Bear. You've been searching for food all day and you're tired. Wrap the bear in a blanket and say goodnight. Tomorrow is another day of adventure, and you'll find new treasures in the forest. Good night, Mr. Bear. Good night, Elephant. Good evening, Ms. Elephant. You've been playing in the water all day and now you're ready for bed. Say goodnight to the elephant and wish her sweet dreams. Tomorrow, you'll create even more joyful splashes and laughter. Good night, Ms. Elephant. Good night, Flamingo. Good evening, Ms. Flamingo. You've been preening your feathers all day and it's time for you to rest. Wrap the flamingo up and say goodnight tomorrow. You'll stand tall and elegant, showing the world your beauty. Good night, Ms. Flamingo. Good night, Panda. Good evening, Mr. Panda. Did you enjoy your bamboo dinner? Sleep well and dream of happy things with a full belly. Tomorrow brings more bamboo, and new discoveries await you in the peaceful forest. Good night, Mr. Panda. Good night, Lion. Good evening, Mr. Lion. Your magnificent mane is so impressive. Show off your majestic mane again tomorrow. With every new dawn, you will roar proudly, leading with courage and wisdom. Good night, Mr. Lion. Good night, Hippo. Good evening, Ms. Hippo. Did you enjoy the pool today? You swim so well, even with your big body. Tomorrow the water will greet you again, and new friends may join you for a splash. Good night, Ms. Hippo. Good night, Cheetah. Good evening, Mr. Cheetah. You are so fast when you run, you must be running at top speed in your dreams too. Tomorrow you'll dash even faster with the wind at your back. Good night, Mr. Cheetah. Good night, Giraffe. Good evening, Mr. Giraffe. You've been eating leaves all day and now it's time to rest. Wrap the giraffe up and say goodnight tomorrow. You'll reach new heights, exploring even more of the treetops. Good night, Mr. Giraffe. Good night, Eagle. Good evening, Mr. Eagle. Your large wings are quite impressive. Rest your big wings and get ready for bed tomorrow. You'll soar higher than ever before, gliding through the endless sky. Good night, Mr. Eagle. Good night, Seal. Good evening, Mr. Seal. You must be tired after swimming freely in the pool all day. Come out of the water, dry off, and get ready for a good night's sleep. Tomorrow you'll dive deeper and swim faster, discovering new wonders of the sea. Good night, Mr. Seal. Good night, Gorilla. Good evening, Mr. Gorilla. You've been playing on the vines all day, and now it's time to rest. Say goodnight to the gorilla and wish him sweet dreams. Tomorrow, you'll swing even higher, reaching new heights in the jungle canopy. Good night, Mr. Gorilla. Good night, Kangaroo. Good evening, Ms. Kangaroo. Does the baby enjoy being cozy in your pouch? Say goodnight to your mom and don't cause any mischief in the pouch. Tomorrow, you and your baby will leap forward into new adventures, side by side. Good night, Ms. Kangaroo. Good night, Leopard. Good evening, Mr. Leopard. You are so good at climbing trees. Will you sleep in a tree tonight? Be careful not to fall. Tomorrow, you'll climb even higher, chasing the sun and your dreams. Good night, Mr. Leopard. Good night, Rhino. Good evening, Mr. Rhino. You had fun playing in the mud today, didn't you? Clean yourself up and rest well. Tomorrow, you'll discover new trails and stomp through new lands with confidence. Good night, Mr. Rhino. Good night, Penguin. Good evening, Ms. Penguin. You've been waddling around all day, and now it's time for bed. Make the penguin comfortable and say goodnight tomorrow. You'll waddle proudly, bringing warmth and joy to the icy world. Good night, Ms. Penguin. Good night, Wolf. Good evening, Mr. Wolf. Did you howl enough before bed? Everyone has heard your howl. Now it's time to sleep. Tomorrow, your voice will echo through the mountains, strong and free. Good night, Mr. Wolf. Good night, Crocodile. Good evening, Mr. Crocodile. You've been basking in the sun all day, and now it's time to close your eyes. Say goodnight to the crocodile. Tomorrow, The river will welcome you back, flowing smoothly under your watchful eye. Good night, Mr. Crocodile. Good night, Zebra. Good evening, Ms. Zebra. You've been running around all day, and now it's time for rest. Wrap the zebra up and say goodnight tomorrow. You'll run freely across the plains, your stripes dazzling in the sun. Good night, Ms. Zebra. Good night, Zoo. All the animals are tucked in and sleeping soundly. Now it's your turn. Close your eyes and dream of today's adventures at the zoo. Tomorrow brings new possibilities and bright hopes for every creature. Good night, little one. Good night, Zoo.